Alright guys, so before you all watch today's video, I just want to apologize for not uploading for the past like 6 days. A lot has been happening and I've been waiting on parts which you will see in next video, so I'm not really going to explain much because I pretty much explained it all in the intro. But if this is your first time watching the video on the channel, I usually like to upload more videos where I could get more stuff done with this series. This video is kind of more like getting small stuff done just to ensure that I can continue on to the next steps. And kind of just like a little bit of an update on what's been going on for the past couple days and everything like that. So I figured I'd just let some of you new viewers know that before you go ahead and watch today's video. But I am going to be making up to you guys, I promise. I'm going to try and upload tomorrow and maybe the next day after that, like a 3-day daily upload thing, just to kind of get us right back on track and on schedule with everything. But with that being said, enjoy today's video. Hey guys, Mix here, and in today's video we are back with the half-scale NASCAR with its new engine out of a 1980 Honda CB750C, and in today's video I want to try and accomplish a couple very important steps in this project. One is to fire it up for the first time and really see if it can run. Now after the rebuild that we did, I did fire up, as you guys know, and it ran, and I was confident enough that it will run again and actually run for real. Now these carburetors have been finicky over the entire time that I've owned this, but when it did run, I let off the gas because I was in here, I was getting smoked out, it was so loud. I just let off the gas and it cut out. But I think if I bring it outside today, yep, I'm bringing this thing outside. It's going to be leaving the shed for the first time in like 2 months. First time rolling with the new engine. Bringing it out might be an issue because of the drop off, but I'm just going to try my best. And we'll see. I mean, I did raise it up a little bit, and if you guys saw in the last video, I definitely noticed how much higher it is in the back, so we'll just see how that works out. And then along with that, I also want to begin with the whole sprocket setup. And if you guys have noticed that I haven't uploaded in the past like 5 or 6 days, which I'm sorry about. I mean, I honestly hate not uploading, but there comes a time in every build that you just gotta wait for parts, and that's exactly what's happening right now. But luckily, the part that I've been waiting on this whole time is estimated to be here by tomorrow, so we can see if we get that done in this video as well. One last thing that I would just want to talk to you guys with of some things I did off camera over the past couple days was I welded in some more supports, one going to the side of the frame and another vertical support going up farther on the engine support and onto the frame as well. And then once I hook up the gearing and everything, I'm going to weld these two pipes together along with probably weld the back of them to the frame to prevent it from twisting like a lot of you guys have been saying on here and on Instagram. So those should help out a lot. And finally, before we hop into working, I hooked up the battery just yesterday just to make sure that everything was good and that I won't be held up once I start recording for you guys. And I hooked up the battery, pressed the start button, something in the wiring harness smoked, and we lost all electrical power. So I started kind of freaking out a little bit. So what I did is I kept the battery hooked up. I jumped the starter solenoid, just put in a screwdriver between the positive and the negative, and the engine was cranking over, but I tested for spark, no spark whatsoever. So something in the wiring harness was not right. So I popped off the fuse box, and I'll show you guys. This was the fuse that was in there. The other half just totally snapped off, so the fusible link did in fact snap. And the reason that happened is because this little ground wire, it just went right past me and I didn't ground it to metal, and that's what caused it to pop the fuse. But now I have that hooked up and I have a new link in there. It's not an OEM one, but I do have an OEM one on the way, but this one will work for now. And I just hooked on the battery once again. I cranked it and the engine turned over, and we had spark, so that problem is now fixed. And I didn't bother trying to start it at all because I want to get the first start on film, and obviously there's no gas or anything on here, so it won't start anyway. But now let's begin getting stuff done so we can roll this outside and see if it'll run. So first off, we need a way of fueling these carbs and the engine. So I have an idea in mind, and it's kind of rigged up, but it'll work. So what my idea is to take the old motorcycle gas tank, literally just like lay it on here, ratchet strap it around the engine and onto the frame, and just get the fuel lines to go onto the carburetors. So I'm just gonna ratchet strap it outside because I want to make sure that it won't fall off when I roll this outside, because this is definitely going to be a bumpy time trying to get this thing out here. So with that being said, I'm going to move the wiring harness out away from the tires so nothing gets ripped off or anything. Put the gas tank to the side, try and get this thing out the door, and then we can begin getting this thing ready to go to fire up. Guys, so after a little bit of jacking and pushing, this thing is outside in the daylight for the first time in so long. The new engine looks insane on here. I think for this occasion, we gotta push this over to the OG recording spot and make this thing run. So guys, we're here at the OG recording spot. So many memories have happened here, but the body to this has long been awaiting to get back on this and just go for a rip. But this thing looks so good in the sunlight. Oh my god, that is... I literally cannot stop staring at this. It looks insane. But that's enough chit chat. Let's get into working. So right now I'm gonna bring everything on the wiring harness just to the side, just so I can hook the battery up to it and ground the battery down to the engine mount. And then once we do that, I'll hook up the gas tank and everything like I said before, and then it'll be time to try and start it. Alright, we got one. Alrighty guys, so I went ahead and just used the fuel cell that was off of the NASKART originally, just because the other one was way too big, but this one fits nicely, and what I like is that the petcock on this one works, so I can regulate the fuel going in, because it does leak like crazy at the bottom on these. And if I can really get this thing to run with these carburetors, I can go ahead and order a rebuild kit for it, because carburetors, a full set like these brand new, are insanely expensive, so I still would like to be able to use these. Even used ones are really expensive, and if it can run with these, I'd be really happy. But I'm gonna turn on the fuel now, and I think it's time to see if it'll run. I'm just gonna get started with a little bit of starter fluid, because I sure as heck know it's definitely not gonna start with just fuel in the bowls, especially with these carburetors, so just a little spray. And I do have a fire extinguisher right behind you guys, so just in case there is something, I am ready. Got the safety goggles, everything on. So here we go. I gotta try and operate the throttle cable too while I'm pressing the start button. So kill switch is in the run position, and here we go. Ah, it was so close. Alright, so I just looked over and there is a huge pool of oil over here, and I'm trying to figure out where it came from. And oddly enough, I guess you need the sprocket bolt in there, because that's where the oil is coming from. So before, when it just went to about the start and was building oil pressure, it all shot out of there. So that is super interesting. I never really knew that, because there's no end to that hole. It goes all the way into the engine. So I'm gonna throw that bolt in there and then we'll try again. Alright, so now with the bolt in, let's try this again. Ah, I let off the gas. Battery really sucks. Ah, when I let off the start button, I accidentally let go. I gotta... Guys, oh my... So, it turned off because I let off the gas. But, if we get these carburetors figured out, this thing will run. I am so happy right now. My first ever engine rebuild like this on a 4-cylinder dual overhead cam engine. before we heard it run, not fully, but it ran, kind of, it fired. But now that was just running. If I kept, oh, I gotta turn off the gas. And if I kept on that gas, this thing will stay running. I am so happy. That just goes to show you that, you know, throughout this whole thing, so many people told me that this thing will never run again, that I should just give up. But this just goes to show you guys that if you really put your mind to everything and just never give up, success will happen. And success just happened just now. Woo! I'm gonna go over into the shade real quick. But when it was just running just now, it wasn't smoking a bit out the exhaust. It sounded super, super healthy. So I think I'm gonna order those rebuild kits because as you guys saw, the cylinder 1 carburetor is just insanely leaky. The other ones aren't too bad, but that one definitely needs a rebuild. So I'm not going to give up with these yet. I mean, the whole rebuild kit for all of the carburetors is like 15, 20 bucks, which isn't bad compared to like 500 to 1,000 bucks for a whole carburetor set. So I can't hurt doing that, but I'm just so happy. And the engine was super, super smooth in there. It wasn't rattling around. And honestly, the cart wasn't even rattling around that much. I felt like it rattled more when the GX390 was in here. And especially for not even being bolted in, just the engine mount just slid in. That was pretty mint. So guys, I got done what I wanted to accomplish today, and that was just to hear it really, really run. And I could not be more happy. So tomorrow, once the part comes, we can set up the gearing, clean up the whole wiring harness, and really get this thing ready to drive, which is the next step. And then once again, once we figure out the whole carburetors and everything like that. But I will catch you all tomorrow while we make some more progress on this. Alrighty guys, so we are back here the next day, but obviously you may have noticed that I'm wearing the same exact thing as I did in the very beginning of that in today's video. And that's because of everything I explained to you in the beginning, and the part still isn't here. And I looked on the tracking thing and it says it may be delayed due to the hurricane. Now if you're in the US, you probably know that the Hurricane Barry, I think it's called, hit pretty hard in the south areas. So that is affecting the package on the way. So unfortunately, I'm going to be ending off the video here. Like I said, this is not like a normal video I do. I like to try and really get stuff done, but we narrowed down the little issue with the whole starting and everything on the motorcycle to the carburetors, but once it's running great. So I'm really pumped on that. But anyway, I'm going to be getting back on normal upload scheduling just once these dang parts get here, man. But with that being said, follow my social medias that will be in the outro of this video. Instagram, Snapchat I use the most. But thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment, tell your friends about the channel. And stay tuned for more awesome videos to come.